All right, so it's actually been a few days since I've had a chance to record anything, but I've had a chance to record anything, but I haven't played Arena in like maybe a week. It's been a little while, but I'm gonna finish out this run here. Um, these are all like pretty fun cards to have. The Swamp Ooze is not gonna destroy a weapon since this is a druid, but we'll keep it because it's an early play. And we won't want the Abusive Sergeant on turn 1 against a Druid, but that's okay because we'll save it. It's going to be good with like any of these because we can pump one of our creatures up. So we've got a good like 1, 2, 3 curve here, and we've got the Abusive Sergeant to use when we need it. So we will be using the coin on turn 1, probably just playing the Gilban Stalker here. Unless our opponent makes a turn 1 play that has us change our mind. I think it's better to have the 2-3 to start off with than the 3-2. Yeah, the 2-3 is a little better against that guy. We could also just make a soldier token thing on turn 1, but I think that's a little bit worse. So we will just coin out. We'll coin out the stealth minion here. Oh, is he gonna get? Okay, yeah, he's getting a 3-2 there. So we might actually send our 2-3 just into that. No, I think it's a little better to use it on his 2-1 because that makes him, if he wants to finish it off with his power, he has to spend the mana for that. So we'll just send this here. And I think maybe it's a little better to have our own 3-2. That way we have a 2-power and a 3-power minion out. Like if he plays something like that's a 4-3 this turn, then we've got a creature that can kill that. That'll be a 2-5. Okay. And that was a pretty good trade for him to make because we can't Abusive Sergeant our creature here. So let's see. This is not ever going to have +4 attack. So we need to decide if we want the 2-4 or if we want the 1-3. And I think we will again not use this. We won't use it on his 2-5 because it makes him use his power if he wants to get rid of it. So we'll just play the slightly bigger creature. And the 2-5 is going to be a little annoying because it can it'll take a few trades with our things for it to die, but it's not doing that much damage, so we don't have to worry a whole lot about it. And we can actually just take it out with the Abusive Sergeant here. I think that's fine. We can Abusive Sergeant and follow that up with the Acolyte of Pain. It doesn't really give us anything that's great against his Piloted Shredder, which I guess is kind of a problem. So we could also just play the Violet Teacher. That's good against his Shredder, and it doesn't really leave us with anything. So if he sends the Shredder into our 2-4, then he keeps a 4-1, and we have a 3-5, which is not very good against his 4-1. But we can heal it the next turn, so I think that's alright too. This gives him a good incentive to send his 4-3 into our 2-4, and that way our Violet Teacher should be able to finish either one of his creatures off. We're a little bit behind here. Oh, that's not bad. That gives us a 1-1, and it lets us take out his 5-6 while keeping our creature alive. If we play that and hit his 5-6, then he's going to send the 4-1 into it, and he'll probably just send both of his creatures into it. He seems like he's more likely to like not want to take 6 damage. We can also play a 2 along with this, and I think that's pretty good. That was a pretty nice top deck for us, I think. And we'll put the 2-3 out here. Instead of using the power at this point, we just want to start building up our board. So while we save a card in hand by making a 1-1, we really just want to have things out that are going to be hard for him to deal with. So we would rather use up the card and have a creature that's a 2-3 instead of a 1-1 here. And here's Mr. Bitey. If our 1/1 survives, we can send it. Oh, he is using the power, so he's willing to take the 6, which is probably smart. It just seemed like the opponent was a little reluctant to use the power earlier. But I think that's a good play from this person. So we can use the Abusive Sergeant this turn if we want. We can get the mini-bot at a discount, so it's probably best to just kill his 2/2 and play the mini-bot and heal our creature here. This just means he has to use his he'll need to use like his 1/1 maybe he'll need to use his 1/1 and his power to deal with the 2/3 and the Divine Shield. So Mr. Bitey will kill that. Oh, they're gonna get +1. Well, that's a pretty good play for the opponent. So 3/5 will. Oh, I guess he's gonna trade me. All right. Oh, and Volcanic Drake. That's a nice discount on that thing. So that was a pretty good play. But this is going to be a nice use of our Abusive Sergeant. I'm pretty happy that we've saved it at this point. Do we want to use the hammer? I don't think it matters, and I think it's more important to deal with this thing. So we're probably gonna Abusive Sergeant and Acolyte of Pain and Power, which is kind of it's not gonna leave us with a great board, but our opponent doesn't really have a super strong board either, and and they're like out of cards at this point, almost out of cards, unless they have something to draw a few more. So we're a little bit weak to his power, but we're gonna draw at least 2 extra cards because we're gonna cycle we're gonna cantrip the hammer, and we're gonna draw a card when the Acolyte dies. The Acolyte's probably taking 3 here, and we're not gonna get 2 cards out of it, so that's fine. Oh, this guy's nice. Does he matter yet? So he's got 8 toughness. We could play both of these, but I don't think that does anything for us. Or we can play both of the 4-drops. I mean, it would be nice to save the hammer to draw an extra card with this, but I don't. I think right now we just want to be a little more realistic than that, and just try to make good like value plays here. So this isn't the best thing to use our keeper on, but it will let it survive his 2/4. Would we rather save the keeper or save the Divine Shield guy? I think since this leaves us with a little bit bigger board, that's what we're gonna do. Although the opponent should have extra mana this turn, so using the power is not going to be a big deal. So, oh, well, never mind. That's pretty good. That would have been a nice thing to have the keeper for, because we could have turned that into a 3/3. So I suppose that should have been a consideration there. We're going to use the Mookless Champion, I think, because we can make this 4/4 and take out one of his cards, and he will likely want to use his Kraken to kill our champion. And then we can send the 4/2 that we've got left over into it. This is kind of, I feel like this is kind of like one of the weaker Mookless champions that we would want to play. But we need to do it a little bit out of desperation here because our opponent has made such a strong play the turn before. So we really are going to need to deal with that Kraken. And I think that's fine because we can still just finish it off. Although now he's got the 3/4 that we need to worry about. That guy's going to get pretty big, but the Kraken is already very big. So we'll finish that. And this turns into a 6/2 if we hit it. So I think we just keep our guy back, although he's going to use his 2/3 on it. We need to be able to deal with this thing, so we're going to want the 4 power cards, I believe. We could also, it would be good to just get this out, I think. So we'll just put the 4 power cards out. It would have been nice to use the power that turn, but the 6 drop here is a little bit expensive, so it's going to be hard to like have a good turn where we use the power the same turn as this guy, unless it's like turn 8, and even then we're not making the best use of the 6 drop because we're not playing a spell with it. So the 3/4 is going to trade with the auctioneer. I think that's fine. We don't really want to kill these runts, but we're going to need to do it at some point. I think we want to make the attack here, though. We've got a little bit of a life advantage on the opponents, so I think we can afford to do it. This is pretty good. We actually did get to use all our mana that turn, and this is a pretty important stage because we're both players are kind of like gonna be like working to get board position at this point because we were both kind of made our big plays, and having used all our mana that turn is a pretty big deal because it's gonna let us make the best attacks the turn after. So we've actually got oh yeah, we got lethal. Cool. That was a good top back. Well played.